Chapter 1799. A Childlike Spell Star. The spell star fell like a meteor, flying past the soul and then quickly circling around it. The soul felt a sudden lightness, and the power of the strange star was forcibly interrupted.
You finally decided to move.
The soul murmured. The spell star that fell was the high and mighty infinite fusion spell star. This guy hadn't moved for a long time. Ever since it ate the maple leaf grass in the maple forest secret realm, it hadn't moved. Now it finally moved again, and it brought a big gift, helping to resolve the immediate crisis. It stopped in front of the soul, making squeaky sounds. Lin Moyu felt that his spirituality seemed to have increased again, probably related to eating the maple leaf grass. The maple leaf grass came from an unknown place. After entering the maple forest secret realm, it evolved through the secret realm and gained spirituality. Could be considered a spiritual material. Eventually, it became the food of the infinite fusion spell star. The infinite fusion spell star called out for a while, and seeing that Lin Moyu didn't respond, it came closer and rubbed against the soul.
Yeah.
It called softly, with a hint of affection, moving cautiously, afraid of hurting Lin Moryu's soul. The whole behavior was like a little kitten, very cute. Lin Moyu couldn't help but reach out and touch it. It immediately flew away, circling around the soul while making joyful sounds. It was like a child who had been praised. Lin Moyu once again felt the power of the strange star. The strange star, carrying the undying law, continued to drill into him tirelessly. It wanted to keep pushing the soul into the Law Star River. Lin Moyu whispered,
Help me deal with them. Yeah.
The infinite fusion spell star called out, and the entire star emitted a hazy light. The undying law coming from the strange star was simultaneously absorbed. The infinite fusion spell star was like a bottomless pit, accepting everything that came its way. At first, Lin Moyu was worried that it might absorb too much and overburden itself. After all, it had a history of indigestion. But gradually, he relaxed. The infinite fusion spell star absorbed happily, occasionally calling out as if to reassure him. Lin Moyu couldn't help but laugh.
This guy really has a big appetite.
Outside the strange star, the god sovereigns looked at each other in shock. In their entire lives, they had never been as shocked as they were today. In their eyes, Lin Moyu had raised his realm to the 7th tier of the god sovereign realm in just a few seconds. Then his aura disappeared, as if he had died. But then his aura reappeared, returning to a minor god sovereign. For god sovereigns, time can pass very slowly. Everything that happened in a second can be broken down into many parts. Every detail would be captured without any omission. When Lin Moryu's aura disappeared, they really thought he had died. But later, Lin Moyu was still intact. Lin Moryu's actions once again overturned their understanding. Everyone expressed that they couldn't understand, completely couldn't understand. Some god sovereigns wanted to ask Lin Moyu, but they couldn't get close. 1,000,000 kilometers away from the strange star, it was as if there was an invisible barrier firmly blocking them. While they were puzzled, someone suddenly shouted,
The strange star is changing.
On the strange star, the originally distinct gray and white colors began to invade each other's territory. White mist frantically surged into the gray area, and the gray mist also spread into the white area. It looked as if the two mists were about to merge.
Are they going to become one? Is this the true face of the law? I wonder what kind of law it will be after merging.
But a sharp-eyed god sovereign shook his head.
They are not merging. They are swapping places.
Swapping places? Hearing this, the god sovereigns noticed that it was indeed so. The gray and white mists were not merging but were swapping their territories. The two poles were reversing. The god sovereigns watched the scene unfold, not knowing what would happen next. But they had a feeling that the changes in the strange star contained the ultimate principles of heaven and earth. If they could comprehend it, it would be of great benefit to them. In the soul world, Lin Moyu once again became a bystander. He felt like he was just there to watch the show. Previously, the strange star had pushed him to become a minor god sovereign, and now the infinite fusion spell star was absorbing the power of the strange star for him. Unusual fluctuations came from the outside world, and since the situation in the soul world was the same with or without him, he simply left the soul world. Lin Moyu opened his eyes and saw the strange star in the state of polar reversal. Suddenly, he understood.
The power of the strange star cannot be entirely supplied to me. As long as I can hold on until the polar reversal ends, the strange star will stop.
In the past, after he absorbed the power of the strange star, it always underwent a polar reversal. It was almost certain that, after the polar reversal, the strange star would stop.
In that case, even if the infinite fusion doesn't move, I can keep self-destructing my soul to drag out the time. But that's too troublesome, and self-destruction is unpleasant. Watching the show and eating snacks is much more comfortable.
Lin Moyu smiled slightly and focused a bit of his consciousness on the soul world. The infinite fusion spell star worked hard, absorbing all the power of the strange star. After waiting for half a day, the polar reversal finally ended. As Lin Moyu had judged, the strange star finally stopped.
Yeah.
The strange star stopped, and the infinite fusion spell star let out a cheer, circling around the soul. It looked like a child seeking praise. The soul reached out and patted it, and it rubbed against the soul a few times before flying back to its original position. It was still high and mighty, still the emperor of all spell stars. Lin Moyu noticed that the hazy aura it emitted seemed a bit thicker than before.
It seems that absorbing the power of the strange star wasn't without benefits.
Lin Moyu had an epiphany and finally breathed a sigh of relief. This adventure had ended perfectly. He had reached the minor god sovereign realm, and the combat power of the undead army had greatly increased. Even the basic 3 types of skeletons had reached the god sovereign realm. The Bone Dragon and Death Knight had both reached the 2nd tier of the god sovereign realm. His most commonly used skeleton god general had reached the 5th tier of the god sovereign realm. The Legion ruler was at the 6th tier of the god sovereign realm. The strongest skeleton king, whether it had reached the high-tier god sovereign standard, Lin Moyu wasn't sure. He would need to summon it to see. Although the number hadn't changed, such a pure god sovereign level army was enough to make any race tremble. However, Lin Moyu also knew that even though he had reached the god sovereign realm, he was still no match for the other shore realm. Just a few other shore realm beings working together could wipe out his god sovereign army. The difference was only in how long it would take. So he still needed to hide his strength. Now that the Abyss Demon Sovereign had his eyes on him, if he attracted a few more other shore realm beings, he wouldn't be able to go out and would have to stay in the Divine City all the time. One day, when he reached the other shore and had the power to confront the Saint Sovereigns head-on, he would bring calamity to all races. 1800. Chapter 1800. This journey is complete. Time to return. The changes in the unusual star stopped. The polar reversal ended, and the forces of life and death collided once again, releasing dense mist. Soon, the unusual star was once again shrouded in gray and white mist. The gray and white mist spread rapidly throughout the entire star system, and it wouldn't be long before the star system returned to its original state. Cultivators in the White Tiger Star domain could continue to use belief power to fuse the forces of life and death, creating powerful magical treasures. Lin Moyu felt the changes in the unusual star. This unusual star was incredibly large, and it was unknown how much power it had accumulated over countless years. The amount he absorbed was just a drop in the ocean for the entire unusual star. He could even activate the unusual star again and absorb its power once more. However, Lin Moyu knew that doing so was meaningless. What he needed next was to let his soul enter the Law Star River and accept its baptism. No matter how much external undying law he absorbed, it couldn't further enhance his strength. Once he became a god sovereign, he wouldn't need external power anymore. Activating the unusual star again would only push him to become a god sovereign, which would be harmful rather than beneficial. Lin Moyu looked at the unusual star beneath his feet and muttered to himself,
"Perhaps in the future, I will need you again."
He had a feeling that the unusual star's purpose was far more than just this. Otherwise, why would the Black Blood Great World have targeted the unusual star during their ancient invasion? Something that could attract such powerful beings to try to destroy it couldn't be simple. Moreover, the unusual star was so sturdy that even a Supreme would find it difficult to destroy. Lin Moyu trusted his intuition. Perhaps he would indeed need the unusual star again in the future. Retracting his gaze, he left the unusual star and flew out of the dense mist.
Young friend, may we ask you a few questions?
One of them asked. Lu Tianling, a sixth-tier god sovereign, was the highest ranking among the god sovereigns present. High-tier god sovereigns were rare no matter where they were. Lu Tianling had a kindly face, like a benevolent grandfather, and his demeanor was very humble. Lin Moyu bowed to Lu Tianling and the others.
Greetings, seniors. Please ask your questions, and I will answer what I can.
Lu Tianling smiled.
Young friend, have you comprehended the laws within the unusual star?
It was clear that Lu Tianling and the others had already discussed this and didn't speak over each other. The god sovereigns all perked up their ears, waiting for Lin Moryu's answer. Lin Moyu straightforwardly admitted,
Yes, I have comprehended the laws within the unusual star.
Hearing Lin Moryu's affirmative answer, the god sovereign's eyes lit up. They were now certain that the unusual star could indeed be comprehended for its laws. It was just that their aptitude wasn't enough to comprehend it. Lu Tianling continued to ask,
Young friend, could you tell us what law is contained within the unusual star?
Lin Moryu replied,
This law is called the Undying Law.
The Undying Law. The god sovereigns looked at each other, a hint of confusion in their eyes, clearly unfamiliar with this law. Lin Moryu smiled.
For detailed information about the Undying Law, you can check the Human Emperor Network. I have other matters to attend to, so if there are no further questions, I will take my leave.
Lu Tianling immediately said,
Thank you for informing us, young friend. Please go ahead.
They all understood that their question was already somewhat impolite. Even if Lin Moryu had refused to tell them, it would have been perfectly normal. Any law is a personal matter, and others have no right to inquire about it. Lin Moryu was already being very courteous by telling them the name of the law. Lin Moryu turned into a stream of light and stepped back onto the golden path. The golden path immediately carried him back to the fortress from which he had departed. After Lin Moryu left, the god sovereigns began to connect to the Human Emperor Network to search for information about the Undying Law. As god sovereigns, they had high-level access on the Human Emperor Network and quickly found that the Undying Law did indeed exist.
The Undying Law, it really exists. It's a first-tier law, my goodness. Why isn't there a detailed introduction to this law?
On the Human Emperor Network, the Undying Law was indeed listed, but there wasn't much information about it. After some searching, Lu Tianling confidently said,
The Undying Law must have been discovered only in recent years. I wouldn't forget, this law definitely didn't exist before.
There were originally very few first-tier laws, and they were all well-known and could be recited backward. With the memory of a god sovereign, once seen, it couldn't be forgotten. One god sovereign pondered,
A new first-tier law appearing is a big deal. How could it be so sparsely recorded on the Human Emperor Network? I feel something is off. I think so too. The Human Emperor Network must have hidden some information, and that person also hid his name. It must be related to him. If even we can't access it, the confidentiality level must be very high. Old Bai, why don't you ask the Domain Lord? You and the Domain Lord are from the same family, so it shouldn't be a problem to ask.
The god sovereign called Old Bai was Bai Shangtian, a fifth-tier god sovereign, from the same Bai family as Bai Binger, the domain lord of the White Tiger Star domain. Bai Shangtian nodded and sent a message to Bai Binger. A moment later, his expression turned strange.
What did the Domain Lord say?
The god sovereigns asked in unison. Bai Shangtian replied,
The Domain Lord told me not to ask too much and to pretend I don't know about this.
Bai Binger's response left the god sovereigns puzzled. Lu Tianling said in a low voice,
It seems this young friend's identity is not simple.
Standing on the golden path, it didn't take long for Lin Moyu to return to the fortress. As soon as he exited, he saw Yuju flying over with a smile.
Captain, you're back.
Yuju's voice was as sweet as ever, with a hint of special affection. She came to Lin Moyu and looked at him with a bit of confusion.
Captain, you seem different.
Lin Moyu smiled.
How am I different?
Yuju looked closely and even sniffed.
I can't say, but you just seem different.
Looking was one thing, but sniffing too? Lin Moyu was amused by Yuju's cute behavior and couldn't help but pat her head. Yuju showed a very content expression, feeling very happy at that moment. Lin Moyu was in a good mood. This journey had been very fulfilling. Not only had his strength greatly increased, but he also hadn't broken through to God Sovereign. Staying at the minor God Sovereign realm was very beneficial for what he needed to do next.
With this matter settled, it's time to leave.
Lin Moyu took one last look at the unusual star at the center of the star system and then turned to leave. Yuju followed behind.
Captain, where are we going next?
Lin Moyu said softly.
It's time to return to Divine City.
Yuju's face changed slightly, showing deep reluctance. She wanted to stay with Lin Moyu a bit longer. There was no reason. She just felt happy being with him. Unfortunately, good times are always short-lived. Lin Moyu had to return to Divine City, and they would have to part ways. Yuju lowered her head, saying nothing, but her eyes were slightly moist. In the core of Divine City, the ancestor of the Song family, Song Jie, approached Lady Yu.
Lady Yu, there's something I want to discuss with you.
1801. Chapter 1801. I will always wait for you at the Yu family. Madame Yu and Song Jie had a fairly good relationship. In fact, the relationships among the human race's beings at the
Bien.
realm were generally good. Before Song Jie could speak, the meddlesome elder Lin had already approached.
Brother Song, is it that another young man from your family has taken a liking to a girl from the Yu family?
Song Jie smiled. This was not the first time such a thing had happened. It had happened before. Elder Lin chuckled.
Even if he likes her, it has to be mutual. You can't force it. A forced melon is not sweet.
Song Jie said.
Naturally, but who can blame the Yu family's girls for being so outstanding? So, I can only come over thick-skinned.
Madame Yu roughly understood Song Jie's intention.
Brother Song, just say what you want. Our two families are in-laws. There's no need to be so polite. Then I'll be straightforward. I have a grandson named Song Yi, who is over 320 years old and at the third stage of the God-King realm. He is somewhat of a talent. He is also quite good-looking, well-read, and sensible, someone I am quite fond of. His father is Songren, my son, who has just gone to the Vermilion Bird battlefield to take up a guard position.
At this point, Song Jie suddenly stopped because he saw Madame Yu's brows furrow. Song Jie asked curiously,
Madame Yu, is there a problem?
Madame Yu looked at him.
Brother Song, are you proposing for Yuzhu?
Song Jie nodded.
So Madame Yu knows.
Madame Yu shook her head and sighed.
Yuzhu has someone in her heart.
Song Jie's eyes flickered, and he did not continue speaking. As a being at the
Bien.
realm and the patriarch of the Song family, he naturally had to maintain his dignity. Although Madame Yu did not explicitly say it, she had already refused, and he could not force it. After a few seconds of silence, Song Jie asked again.
May I know who Yuzhu's beloved is?
Elder Lin, who was standing nearby, also perked up his ears, waiting curiously for the answer. Madame Yu said,
It is Lin Xiaoyu.
Song Jie's expression did not change, but he sighed.
So it is Lin Xiaoyu. Yuzhu is truly fortunate.
Madame Yu smiled.
There are many good girls in the Yu family. If Songyi likes someone else, he can pursue her. As long as it is mutual, I am willing to help make it happen.
Song Jie smiled.
All right, let's see if that boy Songyi has such luck.
White Tiger Star Domain, Star System Number 001. The number 001 signifies that it is the domain's main star system, the most prosperous and powerful star system in the entire star domain. In this star system, there are many beings at the God Sovereign level, and God Kings can be seen everywhere. There is a port star here, identical to those in other star domains. Every month, there is a day when warships depart from the port star to the Divine City. Only on those days can those who have obtained the qualification go to the Divine City. After teleporting to star system number 001, the two of them flew towards the port star. The impending separation made her feel reluctant, but she knew what she should do, what she could do, and what she couldn't do. Lin Moyu seemed to sense Yu Zhu's emotions and said with a smile,
"It's not like we're parting forever. There's no need to be so sad."
Yu Zhu lowered her head.
"After this parting, who knows when I will see the captain again?"
Lin Moyu thought for a moment.
"It shouldn't be too long. If I have the chance, I will come to the Yu family to see you."
Yu Zhu raised her head, her bright eyes shining like stars in the sky. She bit her silver teeth and said firmly,
"I will always wait for the captain at the Yu family, whether it is 10 years, 100 years, or 1,000 years."
Lin Moyu smiled but said nothing. As they entered the port star, they saw several giant warships docked on the stars from a distance. These warships belonged to the military God Sovereign level warships, covered with formations. Lin Moyu could feel their power. Just the warships themselves were enough to contend with ordinary God Sovereigns. Lin Moyu had seen them before on the port star outside the Divine City. These warships were used to transport cultivators. Military warships were responsible for transportation, with soldiers escorting them, making the journey both fast and safe. The warships were large, each capable of accommodating 100,000 people. On the port star, many people were already lined up, waiting to go to the Divine City. There was a huge projection formation on the port star, projecting the time into the starry sky. There were still 27 hours until the Divine City opened. It was still early, so Lin Moyu did not land on the port star but stood in the starry sky with Yu Zhu. When he first entered the Great World, he had heard many times about the Divine City, feeling that going to the Divine City was a sacred thing, a holy place for the human race. At that time, he thought that not many people could enter the Divine City. The Divine City always had a sense of mystery. Later, he learned that, given the terrifying population of the human race, many people could enter the Divine City. Just like what he saw now, there were at least hundreds of thousands of people on the port star. Among them were those who had just obtained the qualification to enter the Divine City, those returning from training in the Divine City, and some who were originally from the Divine City. Even someone like Yu Zhu, who was born in the high-level area of the Divine City, was not uncommon. The truly rare ones were those qualified to enter the core area of the Divine City. Someone flew out from one of the warships, heading towards Lin Moyu and Yu Zhu. The speed was very fast, and in the blink of an eye, the person was in front of them. Lin Moyu recognized the person. They had met during the 4-star domains competition. It was Bai Binger, the domain master of the White Tiger Star domain. Bai Binger was stunningly beautiful, with a tall and curvaceous figure, giving an impression of amazement. As the domain master of the White Tiger Star domain, Bai Binger also had the aura of a superior. She was strong enough, had a high enough status, and was so beautiful that for many strong people, such a woman was the most worthy of conquest. Unfortunately, winning her heart was as difficult as achieving the
Bien.
realm. Bai Binger came before the two of them.
Lin Xiaoyu, long time no see.
Lin Moyu bowed slightly.
Greetings, Senior Bai.
Yu Zhu did not know Bai Binger, but she also bowed with Lin Moyu.
Greetings, Senior Bai.
Bai Binger laughed.
Lin Xiaoyu, you are too polite. There's no need for such formalities.
Bai Binger had a very good attitude, placing herself on the same level as Lin Moyu. After the 4-star domains competition, she naturally did not dare to underestimate Lin Moyu. This was someone valued by the Holy Sovereign, and it was normal for him to surpass her in the future. Since Bai Binger was so polite, Lin Moyu naturally accepted.
Senior Sister Bai, are you also going to the Divine City?
Bai Binger sighed.
I have been away from the Divine City for many years and do want to go back and see it. Unfortunately, I have my duties and cannot leave. I came here specifically to wait for you.
Lin Moyu responded.
Is there something you need?
Bai Binger smiled.
It's nothing much. After the 4-star domains competition, I felt a connection with you. Since you are passing through my White Tiger Star domain, I naturally have to fulfill my duty as a host. Our White Tiger Star domain doesn't have much to offer, just a small gift. I hope you don't mind.
As she spoke, Bai Binger handed over a box. She opened it in front of Lin Moyu, revealing 10 neatly arranged tokens inside. The tokens were neither gold nor iron, neither wood nor jade, seemingly made of a special material. Lin Moyu felt a strong sense of faith from them, reminding him of an item.
Senior Sister Bai, you are too kind.
Bai Binger laughed.
It's nothing. As long as you don't mind, Lin Xiaoyu.
1802-1802. Chapter 1802. Bai Qiuxia's generous gift and request. Bai Binger exchanged a few more pleasantries before leaving. After she left, Lin Moyu's eyes sparkled with a thoughtful expression. Yu Zhu softly said,
It seems she has another purpose.
Lin Moyu smiled slightly.
Tell me your thoughts.
Yu Zhu, being a seasoned trader, had dealt with all kinds of people and had her unique insights into reading them. After thinking for a moment, Yu Zhu said,
She is from the Bai family in the Divine City. The Bai family's ancestor, like our Yu family's ancestor, is at the same level of existence. She is also the domain master of the White Tiger Star domain. Even if she wanted to build a connection with the captain, she wouldn't lower herself so much. The reason she did this, I guess, is because she received orders from her ancestor to do so. As for why she wants to win over the captain, I don't know.
Listening to Yu Zhu's detailed analysis, Lin Moyu laughed.
Your analysis is correct. She indeed came to get close to me on purpose. And this generous gift is not light. It must have been carefully selected. As for why she did this, we'll find out soon enough.
Lin Moyu reached into the box and took out a jade slip. In addition to the 10 tokens that were neither gold nor iron, there was also a jade slip in the corner of the box. This jade slip was identical to those commonly used for transmitting messages. Lin Moyu activated the jade slip, and a gentle voice sounded in his ear.
Greetings, Lin Xiaoyu. My name is Bai Qiuxia. I apologize for the abruptness, but I have a request. Due to an accident during cultivation, my soul has been slightly damaged. According to the Holy Sovereign, Lin Xiaoyu's laws can heal the soul. If Lin Xiaoyu has the time, please come to the Bai family in the Divine City to treat me. These 10 tokens of faith are a small gift. I hope Lin Xiaoyu will accept them.
After a few brief sentences, the jade slip shattered into powder. Lin Moyu's eyes flickered as he fell into deep thought. As Yu Zhu had guessed, Bai Binger had come to deliver the gift on Bai Qiuxia's orders, and Bai Qiuxia was the ancestor of the Bai family, at the same level as Lady Yu in the
Bien.
realm. She said she had an accident during cultivation, causing slight damage to her soul, and needed Lin Moyu's treatment. There was no problem with that. His laws could indeed heal the soul, which was no secret. But she wanted him to go to the Bai family personally instead of coming herself. There were only 2 possibilities for this. One was that she had personal reasons and couldn't leave the Bai family. The other was that her injury was so severe that she couldn't travel. But if it were the second case, the Holy Sovereign could certainly bring her here. Lin Moyu leaned more towards the first possibility. But another question arose. If it were the first case, why didn't the Holy Sovereign bring him over? Could only mean that there were deeper reasons. Perhaps the timing wasn't right, and going now would be useless. The Bai family was located in the high-level area of the Divine City, and it would take time for him to get there. Maybe a few years, maybe decades. This also indicated that during this time, Bai Qiuxia should not be in danger. In other words, she could wait. Lin Moyu's speculation seemed almost accurate, and he couldn't help but smile. Yu Zhu noticed and asked with a smile.
Captain, did you figure something out?
Lin Moyu nodded.
The Bai family has given a very generous gift this time.
Each of the 10 tokens of faith contained the power of 100,000 units of faith. At Lin Moyu's current rate of refining 300 units of faith per day, it would take 333 days to match one token. 10 tokens of faith would save him 3,333 days. The Bai family used a special method to condense the power of faith into tokens. These tokens were ownerless and could be used freely. Lin Moyu could absorb them all, turning them into his own power of faith. He could also sell them to others. Among some god sovereigns, the White Tiger Star domain's tokens of faith were hard currency. Each token containing 100,000 units of faith was extremely valuable and usually not traded for points but bartered. In the Divine City, some god sovereigns used Divine City merits for transactions. The tokens of faith were excellent, with only one drawback. Only god sovereigns could use them. Activating them required a 4th grade or higher soul and the cooperation of the Law Star River. This gift was indeed very valuable. This also made Lin Moyu certain that Bai Qiuxia's request was not as simple as she said. He even thought about asking the Holy Sovereign, but in the end, he decided against it. Yu Zhu was also secretly amazed after hearing this. She had heard of the tokens of faith in the Divine City and knew they were valuable but didn't know the exact price. Now it seemed that the Bai family's gesture was indeed significant. Lin Moyu put away all the tokens of faith and thought to himself,
Since the Bai family has a request for me, I will go there when I have the chance.
In the Divine City, his safety was absolutely guaranteed, with no need to worry at all. The existence of the Human Emperor Network ensured that the Divine City was the safest place for the human race. On the last day of waiting for departure, Yu Zhu talked a lot, sharing her various stories and childhood memories with Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu became the most qualified listener, listening to Yu Zhu's stories. A day later, the time window to the Divine City finally arrived. The two boarded the warship, each capable of accommodating 100,000 people, with everyone having their own private room. Yu Zhu was also assigned her own room, but she didn't go there, choosing to stay with Lin Moyu. She cherished every minute and second of their time together. Leaving the Divine City required 10 Divine City merits, but returning was free. When boarding the warship, the formation would verify everyone's information, making it impossible to sneak in. The Human Emperor Network controlled the entire process, precise and fast. Soon, tens of thousands of people boarded the warship, and the warship set off simultaneously, traveling at an astonishing speed through space towards the Divine City. The warship speed was very fast, comparable to teleportation, and it would take at most half a day to reach the Divine City. Then, through the port star outside the Divine City, they would head to various areas of the Divine City. There, Lin Moyu would part ways with Yu Zhu. Yu Zhu would return to the Yu family, while Lin Moyu would go to submit his level-up task and then head to his planned destination. As the starry sky kept changing and the Divine City drew closer, Yu Zhu's mood also became low. Lin Moyu comforted her.
When I reach the high-level area, I will come to the Yu family to see you.
Yu Zhu nodded.
I know, the captain will definitely come. I will always wait for the captain.
Lin Moyu sighed slightly in his heart. He had to admit that Yu Zhu was indeed a good girl. But only he knew his own situation. Reversing fate for his 4 wives was something he had to do. He could only become stronger and stronger without any pause. Soon, Lin Moyu saw the Divine City Star domain again and saw a severed finger outside the Divine City. It was the finger of an ancient giant. The ancient giant had disappeared, its life and death unknown. Unlike the last time he saw the finger, this time, Lin Moyu felt it more deeply. He saw countless runes appearing and disappearing from the severed finger, containing many ancient symbols, each representing opportunities and dangers. It seemed to have a fatal attraction to Lin Moyu.
One day, I will go in and see for myself.
1803. Chapter 1803. After many days together, there must be a parting. The massive warship circled around the Divine City for half a lap, showcasing the power of the Divine City Star domain to everyone. Everyone who saw the divine city star domain and witnessed the strength of the human race felt a sense of awe. Many people's eyes flashed with an indescribable light, their bodies trembling involuntarily, revealing their excitement. After experiencing the catastrophe from 100,000 years ago, the human race had risen again from the ruins and once more stood at the pinnacle of the world. Lin Moyu and Yu Zhu left their room and came to the front of the warship, joining many others in experiencing the greatness of the divine city. Yu Zhu said softly,
"The ancestor once told us that the divine city had experienced a terrible disaster, but was later rebuilt bit by our human ancestors. This place contains the blood of our human ancestors, as well as their supreme will. It is the origin of our human race."
Lin Moyu knew the history of the divine city better than anyone present. He had even personally witnessed the evolution of the divine city star domain. He smiled and said,
"The greatness of our ancestors is worthy of remembrance by all."
Amidst a series of rumbling sounds, the warship stopped at the port star. At this moment, everyone disembarked from the warship and entered the port star. Meanwhile, a group of people on the port star would board the warship, leaving the divine city with it to begin their journey to the 4 major star domains. Lin Moyu and Yu Zhu completed their registration together. In front of the 0-1 teleportation formation, Yu Zhu was reluctant to part, her eyes brimming with tears.
"Captain, can I hug you?"
It took all her strength to say these words. Lin Moyu didn't refuse. He gently embraced Yu Zhu and said,
"Go back and cultivate well. I will come to see you."
Yu Zhu nodded.
"I will cultivate diligently. I also want to become a god sovereign and become a figure like the ancestor."
Lin Moyu praised her.
"You're so clever, you'll definitely be able to do it."
After a lingering farewell, Yu Zhu entered the teleportation formation, looking back every few steps. As the teleportation formation activated, Yu Zhu disappeared from sight. Lin Moyu also stepped into the teleportation formation, his consciousness moving
to star system number 1000001 of the initial area.
Star system number 1000001 of the initial area was the main star system of the Divine City's initial region. Lin Moyu had been there once before when he went to accept his promotion task, using it as a transfer point. Now that the task was completed, he also had to go there to submit it. In the Divine City, almost 99% of tasks could be submitted directly through the Human Emperor network. Only special tasks like promotion tasks required going to specific places to submit. The main star system was incredibly bustling and prosperous, the most flourishing star system in the initial area. Cultivators came and went in the starry sky, with god kings being the most numerous lesser god sovereigns seen everywhere, and god sovereigns not being few in number. Here, the use of flying treasures was prohibited. Several golden path markers cut through the starry sky, and both god kings and god sovereigns could only fly within the areas marked by these paths. As the main star system, it also had more rules than other star systems. The last time Lin Moyu came here, he only transferred to star number 100000 and didn't really enter the interior of the star system. This was his first time truly entering the interior of the star system. Within the main star system, there were a total of 23 stars. At the center of the star system was an immense sun, bringing warmth to the entire star system. There was also an equally huge planet, which was the world for cultivators, numbered as star number 2. On this planet, cultivators could communicate, trade, cultivate, and live. Besides this, there was a slightly smaller planet, numbered as star number 1. Although star number 1 was slightly smaller than star number 2, it was the main star of the system. There was only one family on it, the Lin family. Except for members of the Lin family, outsiders were not allowed to enter star number 1 without permission. The Lin family managed the entire main star system and was the managing family of the star system. The main star system was special, and the Lin family, as the managing family of the main star system, was equally special. Not only did they exclusively occupy an entire planet, but they also enjoyed 20 resource stars in the star system, possessing unimaginable resources. The reason why the Lin family was so special was that they were not an ordinary family. The Lin family had an ancestor who was at the
Bien.
realm. In fact, the managing family of the main star system in each area was a family with a
Bien.
realm powerhouse, all enjoying some special treatment. The rules of the human race were very detailed, complex, and fair. Special treatment wasn't non-existent, but one had to make sufficient contributions to the human race to enjoy it. Families with
Bien.
realm cultivators could, because achieving the
Bien.
realm was itself a contribution to the human race. Once war broke out, it was the
Bien.
realm cultivators who truly bore the greatest pressure. Lin Moyu followed the guiding path markers, along with many lesser god sovereigns and god kings, heading towards star number 2. Lin Moyu looked at the starry sky, feeling the aura unique to the divine city. When he left, he was at the 7th stage of the god king realm. Now that he had returned, he was already a lesser god sovereign. It had only been a few months, but his progress was enough to shock everyone.
There are quite a lot of people.
Lin Moyu felt a bit strange. Although the main star system was prosperous, it shouldn't be this crowded. Now, the queue heading to star number 2 was like a constant stream, with at least hundreds of thousands of people. And every one of them was at least at the 7th stage of the God King realm. In the adjacent path marker, there were also many god sovereigns. This situation made him feel a bit odd. Discussions could be heard nearby. Lin Moyu's soul stirred slightly as he listened to their conversations.
Have you heard? The one giving the lecture this time is the blood-killing god sovereign from the Lin family. How could I not have heard? Otherwise, why would there be so many people coming? Although there are usually god sovereigns giving lectures, how can they compare to the blood-killing god sovereign from the Lin family? The blood-killing god sovereign is a peak god sovereign, you know. It's said that he even has hopes of surpassing the god sovereign realm and stepping into that unimaginable level. For such a figure to give a lecture, it's not just our initial star area. Even people from the intermediate and advanced star areas would come to listen. The lecture will be held in 2 days. I estimate that at least several 100,000 more people will arrive in these 2 days.
Lin Moyu remembered a special activity in the main star system, God Sovereign Lectures. In the main star system, some god sovereigns would give regular lectures. Anyone who met the requirements could come to listen. Moreover, these activities were free with no fees required. The levels of the lecturing god sovereigns varied, but most were above the 5th stage of the god sovereign realm. Whenever a high-level god sovereign gave a lecture, many people would come. This time, the lecturer was from the Lin family, named the blood-killing god sovereign, a peak god sovereign. So naturally, there would be many people coming to listen. These lectures didn't involve specific laws, but rather focused on some insights into cultivation from the god sovereigns. Listening to more lectures could help one avoid many detours in their cultivation. When a peak god sovereign gave a lecture, even high-level god sovereigns would listen carefully. Hearing the discussions of the crowd, Lin Moyu finally understood what was happening.
No wonder there are so many people. A lecture by a peak god sovereign should be quite good. After submitting the task, I might as well listen too. Perhaps there will be some gains.
Although Lin Moyu was very clear about the path he needed to take, listening to the teachings of seniors was not a bad thing. The stone from other hills may be used to polish one's own jade. From the beginning of his cultivation, Lin Moyu had always maintained a humble attitude and never been self-satisfied. Lin Moyu's gaze searched the stars. There was also a human race tower on the star, identical to the one where he had accepted his promotion task. After completing the promotion task, he needed to go to the human race tower to make the final submission. Suddenly, Lin Moyu felt a gaze fall upon him. The owner of the gaze was a young man named Su Guang, at the 7th stage of the God King realm. Su Guang looked at Lin Moyu and said,
Senior brother, why do you look somewhat familiar?
1804. Chapter 1804. Compared to him, I am nothing. Su Guang's eyes held a thoughtful look. With a God King's memory, it was rare to forget things one had seen. He was certain he had seen this young man before, but the aura and other information seemed somewhat off. Memory wasn't just about appearance. In the great world, there were many people with similar looks. In the memory system, appearance was only one factor of memory. Besides that, there was also aura, realm, and other factors. Lin Moyu guessed that Su Guang had probably seen him during the opening of the special secret realm. At that time, there were countless god kings, and he had been quite conspicuous there. But at that time, compared to his current self, his realm was very different, and his aura had also changed, which was why Su Guang was confused. Lin Moyu smiled and said,
Perhaps we've met briefly before.
Su Guang's gaze still held doubt.
Just a brief meeting?
He clearly wasn't giving up. Although there were people who hid their information in the human race, they were not many. Looking around, among the hundreds of thousands of people, almost everyone's information was public. Especially those young geniuses, who were more willing to display their realm and age, letting others know of their strength. Lin Moyu didn't pay him any more attention and continued looking for the location of the human race tower. As they got closer to the star, he finally spotted the human race tower. At this moment, Su Guang suddenly let out a strange cry.
You're Lin Moyu.
He didn't control his voice, and this exclamation immediately drew others' attention. The three words,
Lin Moyu,
seemed to have infinite magic, and countless gazes swept over in an instant. In the past 2 years, Lin Moyu's fame had grown immensely. He had consecutively cleared secret realms, even conquering the special secret realm that no one had ever cleared before. Lin Moyu had completely broken the records of the Divine City Star domain, becoming a godlike figure in the eyes of many cultivators. Many people viewed Lin Moyu as an idol. Even some usually arrogant young geniuses had to admit their admiration when talking about Lin Moyu. Now, there were few people who didn't respect Lin Moyu, although some still existed. Countless gazes focused on Lin Moyu, causing him to reveal a bitter smile. However, he hadn't thought about changing his appearance. After a deep conversation with Holy Sovereign Hao, his thoughts had changed. The power of faith was very important, especially after reaching higher realms, where the role of faith power became even greater. The
Bien.
realm powerhouses established faith towers, collecting faith power. But the faith towers couldn't collect all the faith power. According to Holy Sovereign Hao's estimate, they could at most collect 1/10 of the faith power. This 1/10 was calculated based on the entire human population base of the Divine City Star domain. The human population base was very large, and 1/10 was already an extremely large number. However, the collected faith power also needed to be distributed among various
Bien.
realm powerhouses as well as some peak god sovereigns. In the end, what each person could get wasn't too much. If one wanted to obtain more faith power, they needed to rely on their own abilities. Make a name for oneself. Let everyone know of one's existence. Let people admire oneself. Many peak god sovereigns did just that. After the deep conversation, although Lin Moyu didn't become high profile, he no longer hid himself. Seeing so many gazes sweep over, Lin Moyu simply and openly removed the hidden information. Name, Lin Moyu. Realm, Lesser God Sovereign. As these two pieces of information were revealed, the entire path marker immediately erupted. Countless voices burst out simultaneously, like a thunderclap.
It really is Lin Moyu. He's actually reached Lesser God Sovereign. I remember during the Maple Forest Secret Realm, he was only at the 6th stage of God King. How is this possible? How could he cultivate so fast? My goodness, how much time has passed? How did he do it? Is this what a true genius is like? It's too terrifying.
The commotion in the God King path also drew the attention of the God Sovereigns in the adjacent path. The God Sovereigns also saw Lin Moyu, and among them were those who had experienced the Maple Forest Secret Realm and recognized Lin Moyu.
It really is him. He's actually reached Lesser God Sovereign. This cultivation speed, I'm afraid it can no longer be described as genius. I've seen many geniuses, but compared to him, they're all nothing. Look at him, then look at those youngsters in my family. They're really nothing in comparison. Not just the youngsters in your family. Even you and I, compared to him, are nothing. With such talent, no wonder he's praised as comparable to the war god.
Several god sovereigns revealed bitter smiles. They had cultivated for thousands of years to reach the god sovereign realm. But Lin Moyu, at most a few decades old, had already reached lesser god sovereign. Becoming a god sovereign was already a certainty for Lin Moyu. It was just a matter of time. Catching up to them was also just a matter of time. If they knew that Lin Moyu could have become a god sovereign long ago, but had deliberately held himself back, they might cough up blood. Lin Moyu accepted everyone's gazes while feeling a large amount of faith power surging towards him. This faith power was newly generated and came from very close by, from these people around him. Because these people were all of high realms, at least god kings, the faith power harvested was good in both quantity and quality.
This is an unexpected gain.
Lin Moyu thought. Lin Moyu smiled, constantly hearing people's discussions about him. There was admiration, envy, jealousy, and also a small amount of disbelief. All kinds of discussions were present, and he accepted them all calmly. In front of the human race tower, which stood tens of thousands of meters tall, Lin Moyu felt its magnificence and grandeur. On the human race tower were carved countless images of human heroes. These images were like legendary stories, narrating how the human race had risen step by step from desperate situations to reach today's heights. Countless heroes had paid the price in blood for the entire human race. It also reminded everyone of the disasters the human race had once suffered. The human race tower emitted waves of invisible force, impacting and cleansing people's hearts, making them feel solemn respect. That was the will left by generations of human ancestors. After looking for a moment, Lin Moyu walked into the human race tower. Inside the human race tower, it was very quiet and empty. In the vast area, there was no one. Faintly, it seemed as if wind sounds arose, and within the wind sounds, it was as if someone was murmuring. This sound seemed real yet unreal, making it impossible to grasp. Lin Moyu knew very well that this was also the will of human ancestors, finally converging into sound. At this moment, he was slightly shocked, realizing something. The human race tower was not just an ordinary building like a task center. Its existence had a more profound meaning.
This should be a terrifying magical treasure.
Lin Moyu thought to himself, believing his judgment was not wrong. The existence of the human race tower was certainly not as simple as just submitting tasks. At this time, a beam of bright yellow light shot down from the tens of thousands of meters high tower top, falling on Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu also stopped his steps and looked up at the sky. He saw layers of white clouds appearing along with the light. The white clouds contained shocking power, bringing down a huge pressure. Lin Moyu's shoulders suddenly felt heavy, as if bearing a high mountain, and he almost couldn't stand steady. Lin Moyu was surprised in his heart.
It's the Human Emperor Network.
1805. Chapter 1805, the youngest general in human history. As a human cultivator, one inevitably has frequent interactions with the Human Emperor Network. Everyone is extremely familiar with the aura of the Human Emperor Network. Especially in the Divine City, the power of the Human Emperor Network is even stronger, and its aura is more obvious. The white clouds descending along with the golden light clearly emanated the power of the Human Emperor Network. It was stronger than any time Lin Moyu had felt before. Previously, the Human Emperor Network only interfered with reality, but now it was truly manifesting in reality. Lin Moyu looked up at the white clouds descending from the sky. The clouds dispersed, enveloping the entire human race tower, and then the tower transformed into a sea of stars. Shadows appeared in the sea, all of them powerful figures from humanity's past god kings, god sovereigns, and those at the realm. There were even more enemy races, terrifying enemies that outnumbered humans many times over. Human ancestors fought bloody battles for the sake of humanity, engaging in endless warfare with the enemies. Blood and flesh scattered across the starry sky, but they did not retreat a single step. Indomitable will gathered in the starry sky, along with flesh and blood, forming a tall tower. Countless powerful figures stood atop the tower, launching fatal strikes against the enemy races. Countless powerful figures stood atop the tower, beaten to a bloody pulp by others, yet still not dispersing. Countless powerful figures. Lin Moyu watched this scene, deeply shaken.
So this is the origin of the human race tower. The human race tower is a magical treasure forged from the flesh, blood, and supreme will of countless ancestors.
What he saw before his eyes was shocking to the soul. The invisible mountain pressing down on him was the blood and flesh of human ancestors, their entrustment, a kind of responsibility. As a powerful figure, one must support a part of the sky for humanity, fight for a space for survival. Lin Moyu's heart was clear as a mirror.
I am for humanity, and humanity's responsibility is also my responsibility.
As the words fell, the invisible mountain disappeared, and his body suddenly felt light. Enveloped in the light, Lin Moyu felt a sense of lightness. Human Lin Moyu, please invest your will into the human race tower. The familiar voice of the human emperor network sounded in his ears. Lin Moyu's soul stirred, condensing his own will and investing it into the human race tower. The human race tower rumbled and shook. Above the white clouds, countless ancestors simultaneously looked towards Lin Moyu. Then, Lin Moyu saw his will take shape on the white clouds, and he also became one of them. At this moment, Lin Moyu felt he had a deeper connection with the human race tower. From now on, he carried an additional responsibility, the responsibility of humanity. Verification complete. Human Lin Moyu, ID 1003, has exceeded the requirements for the Divine City promotion mission. Calculating rewards now. Reward 1. Divine City rank increased to intermediate level. Reward 2. Successfully destroyed the Golden Eagle Race Fortress. Awarded 1,000 Divine City merit points. Reward 3. Exceeded mission requirements. Killed Golden Eagle Race God Kings, Lesser God Sovereigns, and God Sovereigns. Awarded 5,000 Divine City merit points. Reward 4. Outstanding performance in battle. Completed mission alone. Awarded 5,000 Divine City merit points. Lin Moyu looked at the rewards, the gains exceeding his expectations. Divine City merit points were not easy to obtain. For junior personnel, a normal mission would only yield 10 or 20 merit points. Missions in the intermediate zone would yield slightly more, generally a few dozen to 100. To receive over 10,000 merit points from a single promotion mission was indeed astonishing.
It seems advancing to the advanced level may not be too difficult.
Lin Moyu muttered to himself. He knew this was just a private joke. If others heard it, anyone would want to beat him to death. Earning Divine City merit points was no easy task. Lin Moyu recalled the entire process of the mission, knowing that receiving so many rewards was justified. He hadn't just exceeded the mission requirements, but exceeded them by an unknown number of times. He had killed over 20 God Sovereigns, and nearly 1,000,000 God Kings and True Gods combined. Moreover, he had completed it all alone, without needing to share with anyone else. Receiving 11,000 Divine City merit points was reasonable. The light above his head exploded like fireworks, and thunderous applause sounded in his ears. On the white clouds, countless ancestor shadows applauded, seemingly congratulating him. Lin Moyu didn't know if others received this treatment, but he understood that at this moment, he had been fully recognized by the human race tower. A moment later, the applause faded and the white clouds gradually dispersed. However, the light above his head remained, still enveloping him. Everything was not over yet. The voice of the human emperor network sounded again. Human Lin Moyu, according to the rules, you meet the promotion criteria. Military rank promoted to general. Reward 1. Awarded the rank of Glory General. Reward 2. Obtained 3.26 million military merits through transactions. Reward 3. Killed enemy.
Bien.
Realm Beings awarded 1 million military merits. Reward 4. Killed enemy God Sovereigns. Awarded 500,000 military merits. Reward 5. Killed enemy God Kings and True Gods. awarded 300,000 military merits. Reward 6, destroyed enemy fortress, awarded 2 military supply points and 5 contribution points. With the Divine City promotion mission completed, subsequent missions could continue. A string of rewards was issued. What surprised Lin Moyu was that the military rank promotion mission didn't need to be done. Lin Moyu guessed it was because he had killed
Bien.
realm beings and numerous god sovereigns, which had already proven his qualifications and strength, so there was no need to carry out the military rank promotion mission. If he still had to do it, they couldn't possibly ask him to kill Saint Sovereigns. On the battlefield, the various corps commanders were also generals and simultaneously god sovereigns. With their realm, at most they could kill enemy god sovereigns. From this, one could deduce that the mission to promote to general would at most involve killing enemy god sovereigns. He had already exceeded the mission requirements, so there was no reason not to promote him. Adding up all the subsequent military merit rewards, Lin Moyu found his total military merits exceeded 5 million. In other words, he had become a 5-star general. Lin Moyu felt he should be the youngest general in human history. After all, calculating his true age, he was only half a century old. When others were his age, they hadn't even reached the transcendent god realm. Yet he was just short of entering the god sovereign realm, having exerted great effort to stop at lesser god sovereign. As a 5-star general, just considering military rank, he was already higher than the corps commanders. These corps commanders had fought battle after battle over many years to reach their positions, while he had only completed one mission and saved people once.
It seems that strength is still the hard truth. As long as you're strong enough, you'll have everything. If your strength is insufficient, you can't take the rewards even if they're placed before you.
After all the rewards were issued, the light above his head finally disappeared. Lin Moyu bowed respectfully to the human race tower, then turned and left. The human race tower was forged from the flesh, blood, and will of human ancestors, worthy of his salute. Outside the human race tower, the sun shone brightly. The huge sun brought light to the stars. Seeing the cultivators coming and going on the great road, the human world presented a scene of prosperity. Humanity now had countless powerful figures, with god kings as numerous as cattle, tens of thousands of god sovereigns. Even those at the
Bien.
realm were not few in number. Humanity had already become very strong, and would become even stronger in the future. Lin Moyu's mind was still churning with the scenes he had just witnessed. Unable to calm down for a while, he followed the crowd forward aimlessly. When his mood gradually settled, he found he could no longer move forward, as the area ahead was packed with people. In the distance was a huge circular arena. Countless people had gathered in front of the arena, all craning their necks expectantly, waiting for the arena doors to open. Though there were many people, it was not noisy. This was where the blood-killing god sovereign would be lecturing. 1806. Chapter 1806. The Legend of the Blood-Killing God Sovereign. As the main star system of the initial area, it always has some differences from other star systems. The biggest difference is the Tao field, which is where various god sovereigns give lectures. The Tao field was established by the Lin family, who used their network to attract many god sovereigns to lecture for the public. During these lectures, many people gain insights, and some even break through their bottlenecks on the spot. From these lectures, they can also select those with great talent, who can be considered the pillars of the human race. Lin Moyu's arrival once again attracted the attention of many people. Lin Moyu was truly dazzling. No matter where he went, he was like the brightest star in the sky. Fortunately, the people present were not weak, the weakest being god kings with god sovereigns among them. Although some had a mentality of admiring the strong, they wouldn't shamelessly approach to get close. Moreover, in this situation, with the blood-killing god sovereign about to arrive, many people's attention was also focused on the blood-killing god sovereign. In Lin Moyu's ears, there were many discussions about the blood-killing god sovereign. After listening for a while, he had already understood most of the blood-killing god sovereign's past and character. As for whether it was accurate, that was hard to say. The blood-killing god sovereign's real name was Lin Sha, from the Lin family, with the cultivation of a peak god sovereign. Before reaching the God-sovereign realm, he cultivated the Lin family's slaughter law, which belonged to the second tier of laws. The slaughter law was considered mid to upper level among the second-tier laws, and the blood-killing God-sovereign was not particularly outstanding among his peers. He cultivated step by step, doing tasks, entering secret realms, going to battlefields, and fighting continuously. This was also the characteristic of the slaughter law, which could accelerate cultivation speed through slaughter and combat. Even so, the blood-killing God-sovereign's cultivation speed was still not as fast as some of the geniuses among his peers. Until he achieved the God-sovereign realm, the blood-killing God-sovereign's reputation was still not prominent. Later, he left the divine city, left the 4 major star domains, and ventured into the true great world. He obtained an opportunity and began to comprehend a second law, the blood-devouring law. He fused the blood-devouring law with the slaughter law, forming his unique blood-killing Tao. From that moment on, he began to defy the heavens and surpass his peers. He entered the White Tiger battlefield, where the main opponents of the human race were the 3 Silver race. He alone on the battlefield made the 3 Silver race unable to lift their heads. One of the more famous battles was when the blood-killing God-sovereign, with the cultivation of a 3rd-stage God-sovereign, faced 5 God-sovereigns of the 3 Silver race. Each of the 5 God-sovereigns of the 3 Silver race had a higher cultivation than him, with the highest reaching the 5th stage of the God-sovereign realm. After a fierce battle, he still managed to counterkill them, and none of the 5 escaped. The blood-killing God-sovereign later left the battlefield and traveled to various places, and his reputation grew. Various races wanted to kill him and besieged him, but the more they killed, the stronger the blood-killing God-sovereign became. The name of the blood-killing Tao resounded throughout the starry sky. Later, another major event occurred on the White Tiger battlefield. At that time, the location of Human Fortress No. 10 was discovered. The guardian of the White Tiger battlefield was jointly killed by 3 peak God-sovereigns of the 3 Silver race. The 3 Silver race army surrounded the human fortress. The space was sealed, and the tens of thousands of people inside could not escape. The blood-killing God-sovereign arrived at the last moment, and with the cultivation of an 8th-stage God-sovereign, he fought alone against the 3 peak God-sovereigns of the 3 Silver race. At his level, a difference of 1 stage meant a significant difference in combat power. The blood-killing God-sovereign was very strong, and if it were one-on-one, the peak God-sovereigns would not be his match. Unfortunately, 1 against 3, the blood-killing God-sovereign was also at a disadvantage. Later, the blood-killing God-sovereign forcibly elevated his realm using a secret method, sublimated himself, reached the peak God-sovereign realm, and counterkilled the 3 peak God-sovereigns of the 3 Silver race. He then led the army to counterattack, repelled the 3 Silver race army, and saved the fortress. That battle could be considered the most glorious battle of the blood-killing God-sovereign. After that, the blood-killing God-sovereign left the battlefield, returned to the divine city, and rarely appeared. However, on the White Tiger battlefield, the legend of the blood-killing God-sovereign has been passed down for thousands of years. The story of the blood-killing God-sovereign was known to countless people through the Human Emperor network. In the divine city, his reputation was also very high. The blood-killing God-sovereign was a figure from 4,000 years ago. After 4,000 years without entering the
Bien.
realm, Lin Moyu knew that it would be very difficult for him to enter the
Bien.
realm.
Forcibly elevating his realm damaged his foundation. What a pity.
Lin Moyu sighed inwardly. Otherwise, with the blood-killing God-sovereign's ability, the possibility of entering the
Bien.
realm would be very high. After all, being able to fuse 2 laws together was something that ordinary people could not do. Holy Sovereign Hao once mentioned that those who could truly enter the
Bien.
realm were often those who were steady and methodical. Many genius-like figures shone brightly for a time, only to fade away. In Lin Moyu's view, the blood-killing God-sovereign and Zhu Qiwu were the same type of people. As he listened, Lin Moyu's eyes suddenly revealed a hint of strangeness. Someone was actually comparing him to the blood-killing God-sovereign. Some people thought that he cultivated too quickly, his foundation was unstable, and that he would eventually hit a bottleneck. They believed he was not as good as the blood-killing God Sovereign, who was steady and methodical. Lin Moyu had no comment on this, thinking,
Summer insects cannot discuss ice.
However, Lin Moyu did develop some interest in the blood-killing God Sovereign and wanted to see this legendary figure from 4,000 years ago. A team of 1,000 people flew in from the sky, standing in mid-air, surrounding the entire Dao field. They wore uniform clothing, with the same emblem on their cuffs and collars. The emblem was a forest, indicating they were from the Lin family. As the managing family of the main star system, the Lin family had the privilege of flying here. People thought the Lin family was here to maintain order, so they were not surprised. This was not the first time the Lin family had done such a thing. Finally, the doors of the Dao field opened, and the people who had been waiting for a long time immediately swarmed in. Suddenly, several figures flew into the air. Their faces showed panic as they uncontrollably flew backward. In mid-air, the Lin family members took action, catching the people who were thrown back and safely sending them to a distance. Lin Moyu noticed that the people who were thrown back had a cultivation level no higher than the 5th stage of the God King realm. When they were thrown back, their bodies were stiff and unable to move. This scene made everyone who was about to enter the Dao field pause. At this moment, a member of the Lin family flew out, a 7th-stage God Sovereign, a high-level God Sovereign. In the next second, his voice rang out clearly.
The blood-killing God Sovereign's lecture is harmful to those with insufficient soul strength. Therefore, our Lin family has set up a formation to screen out those who are not qualified to enter the Dao field. The closer you are to the center of the Dao field, the better the effect of the lecture, and the higher the requirements for soul strength. To ensure everyone's safety, please do not force yourself and choose a position according to your own ability.
With this explanation, everyone understood the situation. Almost everyone supported the Lin family's approach.
I've heard that some people have vomited blood and been injured while listening to lectures. It seems it was because their cultivation level was insufficient. That's right, those with insufficient cultivation should not come to listen. The Lin family is really considerate, thinking of everyone's safety.
However, some people's faces did not look good. They were not confident in their own strength and did not know if they could enter the Dao field. If they couldn't even get through the door, it would be too embarrassing. The dozens of people who had been thrown back earlier had already left in shame. But most people were still confident and continued to move towards the Dao field.
Who cares if I get embarrassed, so be it. I don't believe I can't even get through the door. Exactly, we've cultivated for thousands of years. How can we not have this bit of courage? Just right, let's test our own cultivation level.
1807. Chapter 1807. Each layer is a division. People surged towards the Dao field again, with some entering and others being thrown out. Those who were thrown out left in shame, having no face to stay. Those who could enter relied not on their cultivation but on their soul strength. Thus, some at the 3rd stage of the God King realm entered, while some at the 5th stage were eliminated. Sometimes the soul realm and the cultivation realm do not match. Lin Moyu could understand the Lin family's approach. A high soul realm often indicates a solid foundation, strong roots, and excellent aptitude. Moreover, the higher the soul realm, the fewer bottlenecks one encounters. Just like Lin Moyu, whose soul realm far exceeded his cultivation realm, he had encountered no bottlenecks along the way. Lin Moyu moved forward with the crowd, observing as he went. He noticed that those blocked by the Dao field's gate had pitifully weak souls, barely reaching the 3rd grade realm. As long as one advanced a bit in the 3rd grade realm, not needing much, and kept pace with their cultivation realm to reach the 3rd stage of the God King realm, it would be enough to enter. Those who were thrown out had no future prospects.
The Lin family is not only protecting them but also screening and eliminating the weak. Although the competition in the Divine City seems not intense, it exists everywhere. Such people have already been eliminated. They might remain at this level for their entire lives.
The Lin family used their method to show the harsh reality of the world to everyone. Lin Moyu followed the crowd to the gate of the Dao field. A thin layer of mist surrounded the gate. He smiled slightly and walked in. Inside the Tao field, there was also a faint mist drifting around. The entire Tao field was circular, with rows of steps surrounding it. The further out the seats, the higher they were and the farther from the center. At the center was a jade platform with a diameter of only 10 meters. Currently, it was empty, as the blood-killing god sovereign had not yet arrived. Many people had already taken their seats, and many more were moving towards the center, but they were soon blocked, as if hitting an invisible wall, and retreated with muffled grunts. Some, unwilling to give up, burst out with astonishing auras trying to force their way through. But it was useless. They still couldn't succeed. The formation distinguished based on soul realm, not cultivation realm. 10 meters from the central jade platform were some meditation cushions. This was the closest place to the jade platform and had the highest requirements. Currently, no one had reached here. Then, every 1,000 meters outward, there were more meditation cushions with the requirements decreasing accordingly, and the positions getting higher. There were a total of 20 layers, dividing soul strength into 20 levels. Lin Moyu observed for a while and roughly understood the specific divisions. From the first to the third layer, no one was seated. Starting from the fourth layer, there were already god sovereigns seated. That was a high-level god sovereign. On the fifth layer sat a sixth-stage god sovereign. The further out, the lower the realm. Each stage of the god sovereign realm had a significant difference in strength, making it hard to surpass. From the 11th layer onward, there were lesser god sovereigns, and further out were god kings.
Interesting. Each layer is a division, clearly distinct.
Lin Moyu's eyes sparkled slightly. Such precise control over soul division was not something an ordinary formation could achieve. Lin Moyu felt the power of rules and runes from the formation, likely composed of runes and set up by a
Bien.
realm expert.
Is it a formation set up by the Lin family ancestor?
Lin Moyu thought, stepping forward. He was already attracting attention, and many people in the Tao field were secretly watching him. Lin Moyu had cultivated for a very short time, reaching the lesser god sovereign realm so quickly. Many people thought his foundation was unstable, that his realm had advanced, but his soul was not strong. Soul improvement is much harder than cultivation improvement. They also wanted to see how far Lin Moyu could go.
He's a lesser god sovereign. He should be able to reach the 11th layer. Shouldn't be a problem. I've heard his combat power is very strong, so his soul shouldn't be weak. The 11th layer is definitely not a problem. I think he should be able to reach the 10th layer. Hard to say. The 10th layer is the domain of god sovereigns. Didn't you see? There isn't a single lesser god sovereign in the 10th layer. Reaching the 11th layer is normal. If he can't even reach the 11th layer, it would be disappointing.
Many people's gazes were complex. Those who supported Lin Moyu hoped he could go far. Those who were jealous of Lin Moyu hoped he wouldn't make it, preferably not even reaching the 11th layer. Human hearts are subtle, and everyone has their own thoughts. Lin Moyu heard the voices around him and couldn't help but smile. He didn't care about such comments. A dragon doesn't care about the opinions of ants. Lin Moyu walked slowly, moving through the faint mist, passing one layer after another, gradually approaching the jade platform. In the blink of an eye, Lin Moyu was about to reach the 12th layer. The eye of the soul had long been opened, and he was also carefully sensing the formation. So far, he hadn't felt any pressure.
He's reached the 12th layer. He's walking steadily, without any pressure. It seems reaching the 11th layer is not a problem.
Under everyone's gaze, Lin Moyu smoothly passed the 12th layer and entered the 11th layer. The 11th layer belonged to the lesser god sovereigns, which was Lin Moyu's current revealed realm. After entering the 11th layer, Lin Moyu didn't stop but continued forward.
He's still moving forward. He's going to the 10th layer. The 10th layer belongs to the god sovereigns. No lesser god sovereign has entered it yet. It seems Lin Moyu is very confident in his soul. I wonder if his soul has reached the 4th grade. We'll see. If his soul hasn't reached the 4th grade, he'll definitely be thrown back.
Some people had cold smiles, wanting to see Lin Moyu get thrown back. Seeing others fail, especially geniuses, always satisfied their vanity. They would say,
"Even geniuses can't do it, so it's normal that I can't."
Under the watchful eyes of tens of thousands, Lin Moyu steadily passed the 11th layer and officially stepped into the 10th layer. This step was easy and casual for Lin Moyu, but for some people it was like a thunderbolt. They felt as if Lin Moyu had slapped them in the face, burning with pain. Lin Moyu stepped into the 10th layer, standing shoulder to shoulder with the God Sovereigns. A God Sovereign looked over with a kind smile.
"Young man, very good. Your soul has reached the 4th grade early. Truly entering the God Sovereign realm shouldn't be far off."
Lin Moyu stopped, bowed slightly.
"Thank you, senior. I still have a long way to go."
The God Sovereign chuckled.
"Very humble. Humility is good, but sometimes there's no need to be overly humble. Come, sit. This is a seat earned by your strength."
Lin Moyu nodded.
"Thank you for the lesson, senior. But I still want to try going a bit further."
Saying this, Lin Moyu continued forward, still walking steadily. The God Sovereign who had just praised Lin Moyu said in a deep voice,
"Young man, sometimes taking a loss isn't a bad thing. At least you'll know your limits."
Gradually, his expression changed. Lin Moyu was getting closer to the 9th layer, walking lightly without any pressure.
Could his soul be stronger than mine?
His voice carried a hint of disbelief. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, Lin Moyu stepped into the 9th layer. 1808. Chapter 1808. Could he be an ancient power in disguise? The 9th layer is the domain of 2nd stage God Sovereigns. As Lin Moyu stepped into it, he immediately attracted the attention of several 2nd stage God Sovereigns. Their gazes held no malice, only admiration for Lin Moyu. Having cultivated for thousands of years, the jealousy among God Sovereigns had long been erased. They only had appreciation for outstanding juniors like Lin Moyu. Most God Sovereigns hoped for the emergence of strong and excellent successors within the human race. In their eyes, Lin Moyu, who was comparable to the war god, was such a successor. The more exceptional Lin Moyu was, the happier they were. Lin Moyu could clearly feel this, so he slightly bowed to them and then continued forward.
No way, he's still moving forward. Beyond this is the 3rd stage of the God Sovereign realm. Is his soul really that strong? This is a true genius. When he becomes a God Sovereign, he will advance smoothly without any bottlenecks. Lin Moyu is incredibly strong. I wonder how far he can go. I think the 8th layer should be his limit. Even if he's a monster, there should be a limit. What if he's a monster among monsters?
Lin Moyu absorbed the attention of almost everyone in the Tao field. Not only the God Kings, but even the God Sovereigns present were all focused on him. Even the high-level God Sovereign from the Lin family in the sky was looking down at him. Lin Moyu walked as if no one else was around, step by step. He easily passed the 8th layer. Next was the 7th layer, which also couldn't stop his steps. The God Sovereigns in the 6th layer stood up, as if welcoming his arrival. The God Sovereigns in the 6th layer were already at the 5th stage, not weak among God Sovereigns. Lin Moyu walked past the 6th layer under their watchful eyes and headed towards the 5th layer. He was getting closer and closer to the jade platform. The entire place was silent, and everyone stopped what they were doing. Millions of eyes were all fixed on Lin Moyu. Every pair of eyes was wide open, and their mouths were the same. Their eyes were filled with envy, excitement, shock, and fear. Lin Moyu walked into the 5th layer, officially stepping into the domain of 6th-stage God Sovereigns. There were only 8 God Sovereigns in this layer. The 8 6th-stage God Sovereigns all looked at Lin Moyu. Their gazes and expressions were extremely complex. Lin Moyu's ability to reach this point completely exceeded their expectations. Reaching this point meant that Lin Moyu's soul had already reached the mid-4th grade. At least before Lin Moyu reached the 6th stage of the God Sovereign realm, he wouldn't encounter any bottlenecks. They all knew some information about Lin Moyu. They knew that he was a young man not even 100 years old. Such an age had never appeared in the history of the human race. Even the blood-killing God Sovereign, who was about to give a lecture, was far less dazzling than Lin Moyu at a young age. However, the real shock was just beginning. Lin Moyu smiled at the few people in the fifth layer and then continued forward. This gave them a creepy feeling.
Is he going to the sixth layer? If he succeeds, that means his soul is at the high fourth grade, which is terrifying. How did he do it? Even if someone said he received an ancient inheritance, it wouldn't be to this extent. Do you think he could be an ancient power in disguise? Impossible. Do you think the human emperor network is fake?
They couldn't explain it. Lin Moyu's existence was beyond their understanding. In fact, it wasn't just them. Zhu Qiwu and later Holy Sovereign Hao had similar doubts. Lin Moyu walked into the fourth layer without changing his expression. In the fourth layer, there were only 3 high-level God Sovereigns. High-level God Sovereigns, 7th-stage God Sovereigns, were completely different from the previous ones. They unconsciously exuded pressure, with a trace of the power of rules entwined around them. Lin Moyu stopped and opened the eye of the soul. Here, he could more clearly understand and examine the entire formation. The core of the formation was the jade platform several thousand meters away.
He finally stopped. He's standing shoulder to shoulder with high-level God Sovereigns. His soul has reached this level. The rumors are true. Lin Moyu is really strong. I wonder if the war god was at this level at his age. Why don't you go to the war god hall and ask? I'd be beaten to death.
A few seconds later, Lin Moyu reopened his eyes. He still couldn't fully understand the formation, but he was 60% sure it was created by a
Bien.
realm expert. Lin Moyu nodded slightly to the high-level God Sovereigns. The God Sovereigns felt a faint illusion, as if they were being acknowledged by Lin Moyu. It seemed their statuses had reversed. Moreover, the pressure emanating from Lin Moyu seemed stronger than theirs. This was because Lin Moyu had opened the eye of the soul and the pressure of a
Bien.
realm soul was leaking out. Just when everyone thought Lin Moyu was going to find a place to sit, he moved again, continuing forward. At this moment, the place was silent, and even a pin drop could be heard. Those who had been talking earlier now closed their mouths and even stopped breathing. They were witnessing a miracle, an unprecedented miracle. Lin Moyu walked to the third layer as easily as drinking water. There was no one in the third layer. This was supposed to be the area for 8th-stage God Sovereigns, but now it welcomed a lesser God Sovereign. Lin Moyu stayed for a few seconds, feeling the aura here. At this moment, no one dared to be sure he would stop here. Instead, they were all guessing if he would continue forward. A few seconds later, Lin Moyu indeed moved again. The second layer belonged to peak God Sovereigns, the 9th stage of the God Sovereign realm. Lin Moyu's actions told the world how strong his soul was. Lin Moyu stopped again, this time for longer than before, standing still for a full minute.
He should stop now. But he hasn't sat down, so he might continue. This is already the peak God Sovereign level. Beyond this, what is the first layer? I don't know. I don't know what the first layer is.
The God Kings had limited knowledge and didn't understand the significance. But the God Sovereigns knew what the first layer meant. It meant the birth of a jade soul, a crucial step towards the
Bien.
realm. If one soul couldn't take this step, the
Bien.
realm would remain a dream. The God Sovereigns were also getting nervous. They wanted to know if Lin Moyu could reach the first layer. They knew very well that the
Bien.
realm was the pinnacle combat power of a race. If they could gain one more
Bien.
realm, it would be more valuable than 1,000 peak God Sovereigns. Lin Moyu stood in the second layer for a full 10 minutes before slowly opening his eyes.
So it's an ancient talisman related to the soul. Unfortunately, it's still incomplete. Using it as the core of the formation is fine, but it has no other significant use. However, the person who set up this formation has a deep understanding of formations. Could it be a Bien realm expert who entered the Dao through formations? Yuju loves formations. If he could be taught by this expert, he might truly enter the Tao of formations.
Lin Moyu smiled slightly and, under everyone's gaze, took another step forward.
He moved. He moved again. He can really enter the first layer. The birth of a jade soul. His soul is at the level of a jade soul.
The god sovereigns were extremely excited. The birth of a jade soul meant that, given time, Lin Moyu would become a
Bien.
realm expert. And this time might not be long, a few hundred years would be enough.
Bien.
Realm expert at a few hundred years old could even become a holy sovereign.
A great fortune for the human race. A great fortune for our human race.
The god sovereigns were extremely excited, their entire bodies trembling. 1809. Chapter 1809. The Blood-Killing God Sovereigns Lecture. Indeed, there is a problem. Lin Moyu steadily stepped into the first layer, then casually found a meditation cushion and sat cross-legged. The entire movement was natural and effortless, without any sign of pressure. In fact, it was indeed so. The first layer corresponds to the peak of the fourth grade soul realm, the realm of the jade soul turning purple. But he had long been at the fifth grade soul realm of the
Bien.
realm and had even made progress within the fifth grade soul realm. With his level of soul, if he felt pressure here, that would be truly strange. Lin Moyu sat down as if no one else was present. And indeed, there was no one else. Between the first and third layers, he was the only one. Lin Moyu's action stunned everyone. The god sovereigns, with excited hearts, also slowly sat down. After all, they were god sovereigns with good composure and quickly calmed down. In the sky, the high-level god sovereign from the Lin family also looked at Lin Moyu with a complex expression. Finally, he sighed softly and couldn't help but exclaim,
The younger generation will surpass us.
He calculated the time and then loudly announced to the Tao field,
The lecture is about to begin. Please take your seats and remain silent.
The god kings quickly found suitable seats, and within just 10 minutes, the entire Tao field became silent again. Lin Moyu felt a powerful force approaching from beyond the stars. This force was majestic, carrying the power of rules.
It's not a peak god sovereign. This is the power of the Bien realm. Could the blood-killing god sovereign have stepped into the Bien realm? No, although it feels like the Bien realm, it's not pure. It's very strange.
Lin Moyu's soul was very sensitive and could sense the peculiarity of this force. He had seen the Bien realm before, and he had also seen Zhu Qiwu's half-step Bien realm. From Zhu Qiwu's initial breakthrough to his later journey on the Blood Road, Lin Moyu had been present. Lin Moyu was very familiar with the changes from a peak god sovereign to the Bien realm. The person approaching was neither a peak god sovereign nor a Bien realm, which felt very strange to him, something he had never seen before. With curiosity, he looked towards the sky. His gaze crossed millions of miles of void, seeing a person approaching at an astonishing speed. The speed surpassed that of a peak god sovereign, like teleportation, crossing millions of kilometers in an instant and appearing above the Tao field. He was dressed in a blood-red robe, exuding a strong killing intent. The moment he descended, everyone felt as if they were in a sea of blood. The sky turned crimson, and the thick smell of blood reached their souls, making it useless to block their sense of smell. Affected by the sea of blood, an endless killing intent rose in their hearts, making them want to take up their weapons and kill the people around them. It wasn't until the blood-killing god sovereign sat on the jade platform and let out a light cough that all the illusions disappeared in an instant. The world returned to clarity, and the sun and moon reappeared. Many god kings were drenched in sweat, their hearts trembling. They had almost started fighting.
This is the blood-killing god sovereign, truly terrifying. This is the power of a peak god sovereign. What kind of existence is the blood-killing Tao? Too terrifying, really too terrifying.
Everyone was filled with lingering fear, not even daring to look at the blood-killing god sovereign. At this moment, Lin Moyu understood why those with weak souls had to be excluded. They simply couldn't withstand the natural killing intent of the blood-killing God Sovereign and could easily turn into madmen who only knew how to kill, or even have their souls collapse and die on the spot. Lin Moyu looked at the blood-killing God Sovereign and vaguely felt that something was wrong with his state. The killing intent just now was not intentional but uncontrollable. But now, he had controlled his killing intent again, which was very strange. The blood-killing God Sovereign also looked at Lin Moyu, with some surprise in his eyes. Lin Moyu's ability to sit in the first layer indicated that his soul had reached the level of the Jade Soul turning purple. But Lin Moyu's strength was only that of a lesser God Sovereign. This strong contrast made him equally curious about Lin Moyu. Their gazes briefly met, and they nodded slightly, as if greeting each other. Then, the blood-killing God Sovereign loudly announced,
The lecture begins. Keep your minds focused. If you can't hold on, you may stand up, and someone will escort you out of the Dao field.
His voice was clear, without any killing intent, completely different from before. The Lin family members were already prepared in the air. If someone stood up, they would escort them out of the Dao field.
My Dao is the blood-killing Dao, suitable only for me and useless to others. Therefore, this lecture is about the great Dao, about finding one's own Dao, not about others' Dao. Everyone has their own Dao. What is Dao? Above the laws, below the laws, all are Dao.
The blood-killing God Sovereign's lecture was not about specific laws or cultivation methods, but about something more profound. The Dao. What is Dao? Dao heart, will, the path of cultivation, all are Dao. How to find one's own Dao and walk a path different from others. This is the correct way of cultivation. In the blood-killing God Sovereign's lecture, finding the Dao can start from the God King realm, but truly walking the Dao requires at least the God Sovereign realm. The blood-killing God Sovereign's words were like golden lotuses, and many people were deeply engrossed. The laws on their bodies surged as they tried to find their own Dao. Those still in the God King realm might not find it, but they could think and try. Cultivation, if only following the old paths of predecessors, would have a limited end. Only by walking one's own path can one reach higher places. Lin Moyu listened to the blood-killing God Sovereign's lecture. He had his own understanding of the Dao and had long determined his own path. Mutual verification allowed Lin Moyu to think more deeply and meticulously. Lin Moyu also closed his eyes, not immersing himself in the blood-killing God Sovereign's Dao but thinking about the path he would take next. Gradually, a faint smell of blood entered his soul. The smell of blood grew stronger, from faint to overwhelming in an instant. Opening his eyes, Lin Moyu saw a sea of blood. Unknowingly, the entire Dao field had turned into a sea of blood. The blood-killing God Sovereign sat on the jade platform, becoming the center of the sea of blood. The blood-killing God Sovereign was fully immersed in his lecture, seemingly unaware that he had turned the entire Dao field into a sea of blood. Those engrossed in the lecture were also unaware of the transformation. The further from the blood-killing God Sovereign, the weaker the power of the sea of blood. Otherwise, ordinary God Kings couldn't withstand the power of the sea of blood, and their souls would be directly eroded. But some were awakened, exclaiming in surprise and instinctively standing up. As soon as they stood up, they were sent out of the sea of blood by the prepared Lin family members, who escorted them out of the Dao field. The longer the lecture, the greater the pressure. When one couldn't bear it, the blood-killing God Sovereign would send them away. If one felt they couldn't bear it, they could also stand up and be sent away. Lin Moyu felt the power of rules in the sea of blood.
It seems the blood-killing God Sovereign has precise control over his power. But what happened earlier? Could it have been intentional?
Lin Moyu thought it unlikely to be intentional. There must be a reason. He focused on listening to the lecture while also paying attention to the blood-killing God Sovereign. Soon, Lin Moyu noticed that the blood-killing God Sovereign's brows would occasionally furrow. Each time he frowned, a killing intent would leak out. It was a real killing intent, cold and merciless, meant to kill. The blood-killing God Sovereign seemed to be trying hard to control his killing intent, but sometimes he couldn't.
Indeed, there is a problem.
1810 Chapter 1810. Blood-killing God Lord's causality lines. Lin Moyu confirmed that blood-killing God Lord definitely had issues. He opened his soul eyes again, and this time he saw faint lines extending from various cultivators and connecting to blood-killing God Lord. These lines were very weak, barely visible even using all his soul power. They flickered in and out of existence, difficult to see clearly.
What are these? Not belief power, not law power either. Is this why blood-killing God Lord is giving a lecture? What use are these things to him?
Lin Moyu also discovered that he himself had a line connecting to blood-killing God Lord. Ordinary people couldn't detect these lines. Even peak God Lords couldn't see them, not even with Jade Soul Purple. Only by truly reaching 5th grade soul and opening soul eyes could one see these lines. He reached out to try grasping the line, but his hand passed right through it. The line existed between reality and illusion, similar to law lines but different.
What exactly is this?
Puzzled, he extended his soul power like a large hand. The moment his soul power touched the line, Lin Moyu's whole body trembled and visions flashed before his eyes. Countless fragmented scenes flashed by. A sea of blood, red lines, shattered starry skies, powerful beings battling. The scenes were chaotic, flashing by in an instant. Others wouldn't be able to make sense of it, but Lin Moyu understood. The red lines came from the Black Blood Great Realm. The Blood Sea belonged to an ancient expert from a great world. The ancient expert controlling the Blood Sea fought fiercely with the invader from the Black Blood Great Realm, ultimately perishing together. The invader's body exploded into countless bloodlines that merged into the Blood Sea. The Blood Sea eventually evolved into a legacy that blood-killing God Lord obtained thousands of years ago. This legacy was called the Blood Sea, not the blood-devouring law as rumored. But he didn't realize the Blood Sea legacy also contained the terrifying will of the Black Blood Great Realm invader. This will erupted after blood-killing God Lord forcibly raised his realm using secret techniques. It began invading his soul, trying to turn him into a mindless killing machine. But blood-killing God Lord was already accustomed to killing and controlled the killing law himself, so he could resist. In the end, blood-killing God Lord fused his killing law with the Blood Sea legacy to form the blood-killing way. However, the bloodlines of the Black Blood Great Realm invader still existed, still eroding his soul. Blood-killing God Lord had been resisting for thousands of years, but was gradually losing ground. It was because of these bloodlines that blood-killing God Lord couldn't enter the other shore. Without the bloodlines, he would have become an other shore expert long ago. Now he had one foot in the other shore realm, but couldn't bring the other foot in. And he could still be eroded by the bloodlines, losing his reason and becoming a mindless killing machine. If that happened, even if other shore experts intervened, it would be a disaster. Nearby star systems would be destroyed with countless casualties. Lin Moyu looked at blood-killing God Lord, his eyes flashing with complex emotions. The Blood Sea began churning. To others, blood-killing God Lord was still lecturing. But to Lin Moyu, blood-killing God Lord had stopped lecturing. In his vision, blood-killing God Lord was also looking at him, with slight confusion in his gaze.
Young man, do you want to kill me?
Blood-killing God Lord was very sensitive to killing intent. He had detected the slight killing intent that flashed through Lin Moyu's mind earlier. Lin Moyu didn't deny it.
Your soul may be eroded.
Blood-killing God Lord was stunned. Then his eyes showed shock.
You can see the causality lines?
So those lines were called causality lines. It was through these causality lines that Lin Moyu saw the cause and effect. Causality law. Lin Moyu suddenly understood what these lines represented, the causality law. Years ago, an ancient Buddha from the Buddha race had used the causality law to strike at him. That palm strike traversed endless space from the Buddha lands to the battlefield, nearly killing him. Zhu Tian had also used the causality law to confirm it was Lin Moyu who killed empty-hearing Buddha. The mysteriousness of the causality law was evident. Among first-tier laws, the ranking of the causality law was undefined. Like the fate law, it may not have powerful offensive abilities, but it was an incredibly miraculous existence. Faced with Lin Moyu's silence, blood-killing God Lord suddenly smiled.
Please wait a moment, young friend. Let me finish the lecture, then I'll explain to you.
Lin Moyu nodded.
All right.
Lin Moyu wasn't in a hurry to act. If he really wanted to eliminate blood-killing God Lord, he could do so at any time. He still had the scales of the Abyss Dragon Demon. Using them to perform corpse explosion would be enough to kill another shore expert, let alone blood-killing God Lord who only had one foot in the other shore. Blood-killing God Lord had made many contributions to humanity and was a hero. Lin Moyu couldn't act rashly against him. Lin Moyu activated the Human Emperor Network and reported blood-killing God Lord's situation to How Holy Lord, wanting to get an answer from him. Just a minute later, he received How Holy Lord's reply.
Wait for me to come.
How Holy Lord was actually coming personally, but Lin Moyu also heard other implications. How Holy Lord clearly knew about this matter, as he should. Under the Human Emperor Network, nothing could be hidden from them. Moreover, the Lin family also had other shore experts. Blood-killing God Lord's lecture continued. As the power of the Blood Sea accumulated, more and more God Kings couldn't withstand it and were forced to leave. But their eyes were all excited, having gained greatly from blood-killing God Lord's lecture. A day later, the lecture ended. The Blood Sea receded like the tide, returning to blood-killing God Lord's body. Blood-killing God Lord said loudly,
This lecture ends here.
His voice was like the morning bell, awakening those remaining in the lecture hall. Of the million who came to listen, less than 100,000 remained until the end. 90% of cultivators left halfway. Those who stayed all had at least high third-grade souls. Everyone stood and bowed to blood-killing God Lord.
Thank you, blood-killing God Lord, for imparting knowledge.
Blood-killing God Lord accepted graciously.
I wish all junior brothers success in your cultivation.
Soon, the lecture hall emptied. Only Lin Moyu remained on the first level with blood-killing God Lord on the jade platform. Lin Moyu smiled.
You can explain now.
Blood-killing God Lord didn't answer directly.
It's a long story. Would you be willing to come with me to the Lin family and listen to me explain slowly?
Lin Moyu nodded slightly.
All right.
The two flew from the lecture hall towards the Lin family. The Lin family was located on the number 1 star of the main star system, not far from the number 2 star. The entire number 1 star belonged to the Lin family. Halfway there, blood-killing God Lord smiled and said,
Young Lin is an extraordinary talent. I've long heard about you. Seeing you today, I realize what people say is far from enough. Your talent far exceeds the rumors.
Lin Moyu's ability to see and touch the causality lines, understanding the cause and effect within, clearly showed his soul had reached the other shore level. As long as nothing went wrong, his achievement of the other shore was certain. Lin Moyu smiled.
You're too kind, senior.
Blood-killing God Lord's eyes held a hint of envy.
Young Lin, do you have questions about those scenes you saw earlier?
Lin Moyu nodded slightly.
Indeed, I have some doubts. The power of the Black Blood Great Realm invaders is very strange and unpredictable. I greatly admire Senior's ability to resist it for thousands of years.
1811. Chapter 1811. Where there's cause there's effect, the causality gourd. Blood-killing God Lord heard something different in Lin Moyu's words. Lin Moyu still had thoughts of killing him. A smile appeared on his lips.
Does young friend think you have the ability to kill me?
Lin Moyu frankly admitted.
Yes.
Blood-killing God Lord laughed heartily.
It seems young friend really has the means. If I can't give a reasonable explanation, I fear my life may be in danger today.
Lin Moyu also smiled and said,
I believe Senior Blood Killing will certainly be able to give a reasonable explanation.
Blood-killing God Lord nodded.
Of course. If I couldn't explain it, I would have killed myself long ago, without waiting for young friend to do it.
The two soon entered the number 1 star and entered the Lin family. Although the Lin family had over 100,000 people and was a huge family, they owned the entire star, so there was more than enough land to divide. On the star, buildings of various styles were scattered across the land. There were manors, high-rises, wooden cabins, and steel houses. Some were in fields, some in forests, and some were built directly on water. There were even houses floating in the air. Blood-killing God Lord explained,
Our Lin family's rules are actually not strict. Everyone can have their own personality and build their residence according to their preferences. I can see that.
Lin Moyu responded while surveying the entire star. From afar, he sensed an unusual aura. His gaze looked into the distance at a tall mountain.
What's behind that mountain?
Blood-killing God Lord smiled.
Young Lin's perception is indeed keen. That place is special. After I explain my situation clearly, perhaps I can take young Lin to see it.
Blood-killing God Lord brought Lin Moyu to a lake. This lake had a diameter of over 1,000 kilometers, almost like an ocean. The entire lake surface was blood-colored and faintly emitted a blood-killing intent. In the center of the lake was a small island with a manor where blood-killing God Lord lived. Lin Moyu could sense that there was no one else on the island. Not just people, there wasn't even a single animal. Not just on the island, but in the 1,000-kilometer lake below, there were no living beings either. This was a dead zone. Blood-killing God Lord landed in the center of the manor.
Please wait a moment, young Lin. I have some things to deal with.
As he spoke, he slapped his own body. His whole body groaned, and at the same time several 10,000-meter waves surged from the lake. Blood rain fell from the sky, creating an extremely bizarre scene.
Get out!
Blood-killing God Lord forcibly dug out a piece of flesh from his own body, then threw it into the sky. The flesh exploded in the sky, merging with the blood rain and falling into the lake. Blood-killing God Lord's chest was missing a piece of flesh, but strangely no blood flowed out. The wound was healing at a visible speed, with new flesh growing out in the blink of an eye. For someone at his level, flesh regeneration was a simple matter. As this piece of flesh was removed, blood-killing God Lord's aura quickly became peaceful. At this moment, he was like a kind-looking old man, the last trace of killing intent completely disappearing from his eyes. Lin Moyu's gaze narrowed slightly. When blood-killing God Lord dug out his own flesh, Lin Moyu saw a magical treasure inside his body. This treasure was shaped like a small gourd, with countless causality lines wrapped around it. After finishing all this, blood-killing God Lord finally breathed a sigh of relief, then walked to a nearby tea table, took out tea utensils, and began brewing tea. While brewing tea, he said,
Did young Lin see it? The thing inside me is called a causality gourd. This causality gourd has no other use. It just helps me resist the erosion of the blood lines. It's because of this that I've been able to maintain my sanity for so many years and not become a monster that only knows how to kill. But where there's cause, there's effect. It's also because of it that I can't truly step into the other shore.
Blood-killing God Lord explained in detail, finally making Lin Moyu understand everything. The causality gourd was a special magical treasure that could resolve cause and effect. In blood-killing God Lord's explanation, obtaining the Blood Sea legacy was the cause, and being eroded by bloodlines and losing sanity was the effect. Once cause and effect are formed, the outcome is very difficult to change. If blood-killing God Lord had been at the other shore realm at that time, perhaps he could have forcibly reversed the cause and effect. But he was only a God Lord then. As he cultivated the Blood Sea legacy, the bloodlines also imperceptibly eroded his soul. This also led to a period later when blood-killing God Lord's killing intent became heavier and heavier. At the time, he didn't know about this situation, until that battle in the White Tiger Star region where he single-handedly killed 3 peak God Lords from the Silver Race and forcibly raised his realm. He was severely injured in that battle. The erosion of the bloodlines also fully erupted at that moment. At that time, he had no power to resist. If nothing unexpected happened, he would have become a monster that only knew how to kill, a monster with peak God Lord combat power. Fortunately, the Lin family ancestor arrived in time and controlled him. Later, How Holy Lord also came and brought a magical treasure, the causality gourd. The causality gourd couldn't cure his injuries or expel the bloodlines, but it could change cause and effect. The causality gourd absorbed 90% of the effect, leaving only 10% for blood-killing God Lord. As a result, the erosive power of the bloodlines was reduced by a full 90%. The 10% erosive power was still within blood-killing God Lord's endurance. He survived. According to How Holy Lord, as long as blood-killing God Lord could reach the other shore, he could exert the full power of the causality gourd and truly resolve all effects. After thousands of years of cultivation, blood-killing God Lord finally had one foot in the other shore. But he also found that he couldn't bring the other foot across. After analysis, it was determined that this was also because of the causality gourd. Similarly with cause and effect, the causality gourd saving blood-killing God Lord was the cause, and preventing blood-killing God Lord from entering the other shore was the effect. So this became an unsolvable problem. Blood-killing God Lord gave lectures to replenish power for the causality gourd. The power of the causality gourd was not endless and also needed replenishment. What it needed was causality power. Listening to blood-killing God Lord's lecture was the cause, and the causality gourd gaining power was the effect. Those causality lines were the causality power obtained by the causality gourd. Lin Moyu's gaze showed contemplation, as if thinking whether blood-killing God Lord's words were true or false. Actually, Lin Moyu already believed blood-killing God Lord, because blood-killing God Lord mentioned How Holy Lord. Combined with How Holy Lord's previous answer, there was no need to doubt. What Lin Moyu was thinking now was whether there was a way to help blood-killing God Lord eliminate the bloodlines. That way the human race could gain another powerful other shore expert. His soul sensed two enormous auras, one of which he was very familiar with. Lin Moyu smiled and said,
How Holy Lord has arrived.
Blood-killing God Lord was slightly stunned.
Why would the Holy Lord come? I called him here.
Blood-killing God Lord looked surprised.
Young Lin even knows the Holy Lord, truly promising at such a young age.
Lin Moyu felt that the blood-killing God Lord before him was different from the one in legendary stories. In the stories, blood-killing God Lord had overwhelming killing intent, killing wherever he went, even making his own people feel fear when they saw him. But the blood-killing God Lord before him, apart from his blood-colored clothes that looked a bit eye-catching, was like a harmless old man, even kind-looking. The space around them distorted slightly, and How Holy Lord and the Lin family ancestor appeared on the island. 1812. Chapter 1812. The True Blood Sea, Bloodlines Like Snakes. The two arrivals were both familiar to Lin Moyu, How Holy Lord whom he had just met recently, and Lin Elder whom he hadn't seen in a long time. Lin Elder smiled at Lin Moyu.
Young Lin, long time no see.
Lin Moyu bowed to them.
Greetings, How Holy Lord, Senior Lin.
Lin Elder looked kind and benevolent, like a nice old man.
No need for formalities, no need.
Lin Elder was the Lin family ancestor, also blood-killing God Lord's grandfather, and the pillar of the Lin family. Looking at their appearances, there was indeed some resemblance. How Holy Lord smiled at Lin Moyu with an indescribable expression, like someone watching a show. Lin Moyu immediately understood.
You've been watching all along?
How Holy Lord smiled.
I just wanted to see how you would handle it.
Lin Moyu didn't believe How Holy Lord's words.
You wanted to see my attitude towards the Black Blood Great Realm, right? Young Lin is indeed clever.
How Holy Lord frankly admitted, not pretending at all. His face a bit thick-skinned. Lin Moyu thought to himself.
Indeed, even Holy Lords are human. As long as one is human, the instinct to watch drama can't be avoided.
Lin Moyu naturally understood How Holy Lord's actions. The Black Blood Great Realm was an enemy of the Great World, at least in the past. The troubles from the ancient war have lingered until now, still affecting the Great World. Now that power from the Black Blood Great Realm had appeared, Lin Moyu's attitude as a genius was crucial. Would he choose to eradicate it without hesitation, or would he have other choices? His choice could potentially affect the attitudes of other shore experts and holy lords towards him. There must be many things that only holy lords know. If his attitude failed to satisfy them, the relationship between them might undergo subtle changes. Perhaps he would never be able to enter the true core of the human race. Lin Moyu had long considered this issue, but his true thoughts were not like this. All his actions came from his heart. He wouldn't consider things that were too complicated. If blood-killing God Lord really couldn't avoid being eroded by bloodlines and becoming a killing monster, he wouldn't hesitate to take action and eliminate him. How Holy Lord asked,
Young Lin, what do you think of this matter? You should speak first.
Lin Moyu didn't answer. How Holy Lord surely had his own thoughts. How Holy Lord chuckled.
You already know the cause and effect of the matter. Originally, I wanted to wait until you reached Peak God Lord, or reached the other shore, before resolving this issue. But since you're already here, it can be considered fate. You can take a look first. Even if it can't be resolved, at least you'll have an idea.
Lin Moyu immediately understood How Holy Lord's meaning.
You want me to deal with the bloodlines?
How Holy Lord nodded.
It's simple talking to you. You're thinking too much.
Lin Moyu thought to himself, but he couldn't say this out loud. Blood-killing God Lord listened from the side. Moved.
Holy Lord, do you mean young Lin can resolve the bloodlines?
How Holy Lord made a sound of agreement.
At least there's a chance.
Lin Elder spoke at this moment.
Little Shah, release the blood sea.
Blood-killing God Lord immediately obeyed. With a thought, a sky full of blood light surged from his body. The blood light quickly became dense, connecting with the entire blood-colored lake. The blood-colored lake rose, flying into the air. At the same time, the blood light rippled like ocean waves in the sky. From light to sea, it finally formed a blood sea. Lin Moyu realized then that the lake was actually the blood sea, or rather part of the blood sea. The blood sea above became increasingly dense, its range expanding rapidly in all directions, like thick blood-colored clouds. The entire environment instantly became extremely oppressive, with an intense bloody smell assaulting the soul. Within the bloodiness was also dense killing intent. Lin Moyu felt his soul world enveloped by endless killing intent. If his will was a bit weaker, he would be assimilated and become a monster that only knew how to kill. Such a blood sea, if used in battle, would be terribly powerful. Moreover, the enemy's mind would be affected, greatly weakening their combat power. The blood sea released during the lecture was like child's play compared to this true blood sea now. Lin Elder continued,
Don't hold back, release it all.
Blood-killing God Lord's expression became slightly solemn, seeming to hesitate, but still obeyed the order. With a light shout, blood-killing God Lord's power rapidly sublimated. In an instant, it broke through the boundary between God Lord and other shore. Rule power appeared in the blood sea. The rule power flowed through the blood sea like electric snakes, making the blood sea increasingly powerful. At the same time, strands of dark red bloodlines appeared in the blood sea. They were also like tiny snakes, swimming freely in the thick blood sea. These bloodlines looked like part of the blood sea, seemingly integrated with it. But Lin Moyu knew clearly that the bloodlines were actually power from the Black Blood Great Realm, possessed by the invaders. The bloodlines were very powerful and difficult to eliminate. There were endless bloodlines in the blood sea. Wherever there was blood sea, there were bloodlines. Lin Elder said,
It's these bloodlines that can't be completely eliminated. The bloodlines will continuously erode the soul, trying to turn Little Shah into a puppet. Even using the causality gourd can only reduce 90% of the bloodlines, unable to truly eliminate them. How Holy Lord has also tried using rule power to destroy them, but that would also harm Little Shah's soul.
Lin Moyu looked at the dense bloodlines in the blood sea, giving a chilling feeling. The power of the Black Blood Great Realm was too bizarre. These bloodlines of theirs didn't seem like the various laws of the great world, having completely different shapes and natures. The power of the Black Blood Great Realm all seemed to be bloodlines, but the same bloodlines had different functions. Lin Moyu sensed for a while, then said solemnly,
There are two methods. One is to wear down these bloodlines, But it might take a very long time. I can't say exactly how long, and I can't guarantee if I can do it with my current ability. The second method is to give up the blood sea, completely stripping it away. I know that would harm senior blood-killing soul, but I can treat the soul. However, even doing so, I'm not confident I can fully restore blood-killing God Lord's soul.
For most people, giving up a legacy and stripping away the blood sea was impossible. But how Holy Lord had the ability to do it, only the damage to the soul would be tremendous. Even if blood-killing God Lord could survive, he would be crippled. Lin Moyu could treat soul injuries, but couldn't guarantee full recovery. Even if fully recovered, there was a 90% chance he wouldn't reach the other shore. Blood-killing God Lord might be forever trapped at the God Lord realm. Lin Elder asked,
Which plan does young Lin think is better?
how Holy Lord also said,
The best is naturally the first one.
Lin Moyu shook his head.
Let me try.
As he spoke, he reached out and grabbed a handful of blood sea. Blood-killing God Lord fully cooperated with Lin Moyu, letting him do as he pleased, while reminding,
Be careful of the bloodlines inside.
Lin Moyu's palms were wrapped in the immortal law, like wearing thick gray gloves. After reaching small God Lord, his mastery of the immortal law had reached perfection, and the immortal law had become increasingly powerful. The immortal law completely transformed into death force, drilling into the blood sea, becoming a large dragon that swallowed the bloodlines in one gulp. 1813.